Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel where we're going over the Orthodox prophecies of World War III. Today we have an exciting video as if you've been watching the news recently, there's been some developments in the Aegean, specifically between these three countries, Greece, Cyprus and Israel. And if you've been paying attention, there's been some fulfillment of prophecies and we're going to go over those today. First, I did want to go over what has been happening with Greece, Cyprus, and Israel. Then we'll get into what this means for the fulfillment of prophecies. Again, we're reading through the article from our newsletter. If you can go follow it, that would be great. Share it as it helps us a lot. So without further delay, let's begin. In recent months, Greece, Cyprus, and Israel have accelerated a trilateral alliance that spans diplomacy, defense, and energy. Top leaders are convening more frequently. For instance, on December 22nd, 2025, the Greek and Israeli prime ministers will meet in Jerusalem alongside Cyprus's president for a high-level summit, which has actually just happened, and we're going to go over that next. This growing partnership, which has been steadily nurtured by successive governments, is backed by numerous agreements, nearly $4 billion worth, in the works or already signed. While rooted in pragmatic interests like security cooperation and economic development, the alliance is also viewed by many as a response to regional tensions, and even by some Orthodox Christians as development foreshadowed by prophecy. Political and economic agreements. So in this map here, we can see the East Med pipeline, which connects Israel, Cyprus, and Greece all the way to Italy, it looks like, as well. And this is what is in tension right now, I believe, as well as the cooperation deals that have just been signed. This new alliance is underpinned by economic and political cooperation. A cornerstone is joint energy development. Greece, Cyprus, and Israel are working to integrate their energy grids and offshore resources. In mid-2025, Israel and Cyprus agreed to sign a deal to lay a subsea electrical cable linking their power grids, part of the broader India, Middle East, East Europe corridor, and to finalize the division of the Aphrodite gas field they share. The electricity interconnector, often called the Great Sea Interconnector, will be the world's longest underwater power cable once built, boosting regional energy security and linking Asia to Europe via Cyprus. Plans for the ambitious EastMed gas pipeline, which is approximately 1,900 kilometers long, to carry Israeli and Cypriot natural gas to Europe via Greece are also still on the table. These projects have expected timelines stretching over several years, underscoring the long-term economic integration envisioned. Politically, the three countries have institutionalized their partnership through regular summits and 3+1 dialogues. Since 2016, Greece, Cyprus, and Israel have held frequent trilateral meetings, often with US support to coordinate on regional policy. Cypriot President Nikos Christodoulidis highlighted the need to do much more in the areas of security, intelligence, tourism, and trade, noting pointedly that there is always one neighbor trying to cause problems in our region. Again, this one neighbor is Turkey, and we're going to be talking about that later. Though he did not name it, that one neighbor was widely understood to be Turkey. All three nations are close US partners and democracies, which adds a layer of strategic alignment. Observers note that Athens' deepening cooperation with Israel, a policy shared by ideologically diverse Greek governments, has transformed Greece into a key regional strategic asset from Washington's perspective. In turn, Cyprus is leveraging its upcoming EU Council presidency in 2026 to champion Eastern Mediterranean interests in Brussels. A counterweight to Turkish ambitions. Many analysts view the Greece-Cyprus-Israeli alignment as a direct response to Turkey's assertive regional posture. Turkey, which neighbors both Greece and Cyprus, and until recently had strained ties with Israel, looms large in any Eastern Mediterranean calculus. Under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Ankara has pursued a blue homeland doctrine, asserting expansive claims overseas and resources that overlap with Greek and Cypriot exclusive economic zones. In recent years, Turkey has unilaterally sent drill ships into Cyprus's offshore gas fields and naval survey vessels into disputed Greek waters, igniting confrontations. It also struck a controversial maritime deal with Libya in 2019, claiming waters off Crete, which Athens and its partners vehemently rejected. These actions, alongside Turkey's military adventurism in Syria and support of proxy forces in Libya, have cemented its image as a destabilizing force in the eyes of its southern neighbors. Turkey's defense ministry cautioned it is closely monitoring these efforts, implicitly reminding that it retains a sizable military force in northern Cyprus, seizing that territory in 1974. Again, Turkey illegally has been occupying part of Cyprus, which I am from, my ancestors are from, since 1974, over 51 years now. The friction extends beyond Cyprus. Erdogan's government, which harshly criticized Israel during the recent Gaza war, sees Jerusalem's coziness with Athens and Nicosia as part of an encirclement strategy. Again, I actually agree with this as well. Strategically, Turkey is being surrounded by enemies on really all fronts, which, if I were Erdogan, it would concern me. Indeed, cooperation among countries that increasingly view Turkey as a rival has become the new normal in the Eastern Mediterranean. Even some Western commentators argue that formalizing this trilateral alliance would establish clear consequences for destabilizing actions by Turkey and perhaps eventually coax Ankara back into a cooperative framework if it abandons its neo-Ottoman ambitions. Again, we're going to actually talk about this very soon because it was actually mentioned at the meeting which just happened. For now, the message from Athens, Nicosia, and Jerusalem is one of vigilance and unity. As Cyprus's Archbishop Yorgos bluntly puts it, Turkey's objectives are the same both in Greek territory and in Cyprus, so we must present a united front against its insatiable appetite. So this actually happened today, the meeting we talked about previously between Israel, Greece, and Cyprus. And I'm going to read this small article of a summary of what happened. If you want to watch the full clips, they're available online. But there are some key takeaways here. So let's give it a read. Greece, the Greek Cypriot administration, and Israel agreed on Monday to strengthen military and security cooperation, as their leaders reaffirmed a long-standing trilateral partnership during talks in Jerusalem. Speaking at a joint press conference with visiting Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis and Greek Cypriot leader Nikos Christodoulidis, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu underlined, "We agreed today to deepen our cooperation in security and defense," arguing that the trilateral alliance does not specifically target any country in the region. He said, "Look, we're not seeking confrontation with anyone. On the contrary, we seek stability and prosperity." Well, again, this is just a lie, by the way, because as we're going to see later, he actually does insinuate which country he is talking about, which is Turkey, and we're going to see that. "We hope that our coalition won't be tested," Netanyahu added. Speaking to reporters, Mitsotakis said, "This is the 10th trilateral meeting of our countries, and this shows the depth of our cooperation that has been tested by time and has been proven resilient." Highlighting the growing military cooperation between the three parties, perhaps clearest is skyrocketing Israeli arms sales to Greece and the Greek Cypriot administration. Mitsotakis said their tech sector cooperation should be further improved. "Our cooperation has yielded tangible results and will continue to do so in the future. We look forward to strengthening the trilateral partnership," Mitsotakis said. Christodoulidis, for his part, also underlined growing cooperation in defense, security, tourism, and energy. "There are no limits to the prospects for our cooperation between the three countries," he added. Israel has emerged as a major arms supplier for both Athens and the Greek Cypriot administration, providing various types of advanced missiles, drones, and electronic warfare systems. The Israel army also often uses the soil of two countries for training and exercises, which I think we skipped over before in the previous article. But it highlights the growing relationship between these three countries. Why? Because of Turkish aggression increasing in the past few years. Increasing Israeli influence in Greek Cyprus has also made uneasy the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, a false country by the way, which sits on the northern one-third of the divided island and has expressed concern several times over growing defense and security ties between the pair. Officials have also criticized joint military exercises, intelligence sharing, and the lifting of US arms restrictions for the Greek Cypriot side as moves that could destabilize the region. Turkey has, as a guarantor state to the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, has said it is closely monitoring the Greek Cypriot-Israeli rapprochement and warned it would not allow security threats to emerge on the divided island. The two sides' efforts to find a compromise on the island have so far failed, and the TRNC advocates a solution on the status of the island that fully recognizes the Turkish Cypriot state's sovereignty. Okay, so this article did leave out the part which I did want to talk about, but I actually have it here because Twitter right now is talking about this everywhere. This is from the Greek Reporter. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to Turkish President Erdogan. Those who dream of rebuilding empires will not succeed. Again, he will never say it, but this coalition between the three countries is to have a response, an immediate response, to the claims made by Turkey and especially Erdogan's government. If you actually see as well, these claims fall in perfectly with the Orthodox prophecies, especially with Saint Cosmas and Saint Paisios. And which is really interesting. A friend of mine from the Holy Wisdom channel actually sent me this today. Well, he sent it to his Telegram, and I did want to go over it because this is directly fulfilling Orthodox prophecy. If you haven't yet, please check out the Holy Wisdom channel. I'm going to leave his link in the description. He does has a lot of great videos on the topic, and is one of the reasons I'm actually doing this right now. So please check him out. He's great. But this is what was sent. So this is from the Greek news in Greece. And in this video, which you can find in his Telegram chat if you want to join, it talks about how Greece has the prospect of extending its exclusive economic zone to 12 nautical miles. Now, anyone who has any idea of Orthodox prophecy knows the prophecy from Saint Paisios. Now, what did Saint Paisios say? He said, when you hear on television that the issue of the sea miles is being discussed, the extension from 6 to 12 miles, then behind it comes war. Again, this issue has been going on for years, but in context to everything that has happened, right, that we've ticked off the prophecy list, right, how Gaza has been flattened, growing tensions between Greece and Turkey, how the nuclear facilities of Iran have been bombed on the Friday morning, as Elder Theodore of Crete said, and how all these other ones are lining up to 2026, we see that this is something that, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions, is coming very soon. Which is why we do need to prepare spiritually and physically for this, and pay attention to what our elders are saying from the past, from now, and into the future. And again, I will be trying my best to keep on top of this stuff so you guys don't have to, so you can live your normal life. But if you do want to be updated daily on this stuff, please consider joining my Patreon. Again, for just $5 a month, you will be able to have access to all the documents I'm providing, the private Telegram chat, private Discord chat, and yeah, in that way you will be prepared for the events to come, hopefully. But if you can't, that's fine. Just share this video with anyone. Like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, guys, if I have any updates, I'll let you guys know. And I'll see you in the next video. See you guys.